Welcome back to another Sleepy Steve story. Before we drift off tonight, remember to subscribe to help Steve-O out, and I will keep making more sleepy stories to help you study gently, revise quietly, and settle your mind at the end of the day. Tonight, we are settling into another quiet corner of VCE business management, and this time we are staying with Unit 3, Area of Study 2, where the business is already established, the doors are already open, the employees have arrived, and the manager is trying to understand something that sounds simple at first, but becomes more complex the longer we look at it. Why do people choose to work well, keep trying, stay committed, and help a business move towards its objectives? So, before we drift too far into the soft rhythm of the night, let's set our coordinates. This episode is about motivation theories and employee strategies. We will move slowly through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Locke and Latham's goal-setting theory, and Lawrence and Nohria's four-drive theory. Then we will connect those theories to practical motivation strategies, such as performance-related pay, career advancement, investment in training, support, and sanction. We will also wander gently into training, performance management, and termination, because in a real business, these ideas do not sit in separate boxes. They are all part of the way people are managed. Picture a business after closing time. The lights are still on in the staff room. A roster is pinned to the wall. A training booklet rests beside a half-finished cup of tea. On the manager's desk, there are reports showing productivity, customer complaints, absenteeism, sales, staff turnover, and progress towards business objectives. The numbers matter, of course, but behind the numbers are people, employees with needs, goals, pressures, hopes, skills, frustrations, and different reasons for turning up each day. In business management, motivation means the internal and external factors that stimulate people to act in a particular way. In a business, motivation is important because employees help turn plans into actual performance. A business might have strong objectives, a clear structure, good technology, and a promising market. But if employees are not willing or able to perform their roles effectively, the business may struggle to achieve efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is about using resources well with minimal waste. Effectiveness is about achieving objectives. Motivated employees can help with both. They may work more carefully, serve customers more warmly, solve problems more willingly, use time more productively, and stay with the business for longer. Poorly motivated employees, on the other hand, may make more mistakes, resist change, show lower productivity, take more time away from work, or leave the business altogether. So motivation is not just a nice idea, it is connected to business performance. Let's begin with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Imagine a calm staircase rising one step at a time. Maslow's theory suggests that people have different levels of need, and that lower-level needs generally need to be satisfied before higher-level needs become the main source of motivation. The 5 levels are physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. Physiological needs are the most basic. These are needs such as food, water, rest, and shelter. In a workplace, a business cannot provide every part of an employee's life, but it can support these needs through fair pay, reasonable hours, meal breaks, safe working conditions, and not pushing employees beyond healthy limits. If someone is exhausted, underpaid, hungry, or constantly overworked, higher goals like creativity or personal growth may feel very distant. The next level is safety needs. These include security, stability, and protection from harm. In a business, safety needs may be supported through secure employment where possible, clear policies, occupational health and safety practices, predictable procedures, and fair treatment. When employees feel that their workplace is unsafe, unstable, or unpredictable, they may become anxious and less willing to take initiative. A manager who wants committed employees must pay attention to the conditions that make people feel safe enough to do their work well. Then come social needs. People often want belonging, friendship, and connection. In a workplace, this may involve teamwork, positive relationships, inclusion, supportive communication, and a sense that employees are part of something larger than themselves. Staff meetings, team projects, mentoring, respectful culture, and social connection can all contribute. A person who feels isolated or excluded may still complete tasks, but they may not feel emotionally connected to the business. The fourth level is esteem needs. These involve respect, recognition, responsibility, and a sense of achievement. A business can support esteem needs by praising good work, giving employees meaningful responsibilities, offering career development, involving them in decision-making, and acknowledging contributions. For many employees, being seen and valued is a powerful source of motivation. At the top of Maslow's hierarchy is self-actualization. This means reaching one's potential, being creative, solving meaningful problems, and becoming the best version of oneself. In a business, this might occur when employees are given challenging work, opportunities for innovation, autonomy, career progression, and space to use their strengths. This level is not only about doing a job, it is about growth. The strength of Maslow's theory is that it is easy to understand and gives managers a broad way to think about employee needs. It reminds us that money is not the only motivator. Employees may also need safety, belonging, respect, and growth. This can help managers design a range of strategies rather than relying on one simple reward. But Maslow's theory also has limitations. It assumes that people move through needs in a clear order, but real people are often more complicated. An employee may seek esteem even if safety feels uncertain. Another may value belonging more than promotion. Cultural values, personality, age, life stage, and personal circumstances can all influence what matters most. A manager cannot simply place every employee on the same staircase and expect the same result. Now let us move to Locke and Latham's goal-setting theory. This theory is less like a staircase and more like a clear path through a quiet garden. It suggests that employees are motivated when they are given goals that are specific and challenging, especially when they receive feedback and are committed to the goal. The idea is that a vague instruction, such as "do your best," is usually less powerful than a clear target, such as "increase customer response time by 10% over the next month." Locke and Latham's theory is useful in business because it links motivation directly to performance. If employees know exactly what they are aiming for, and if the goal is difficult but achievable, they may focus their effort more clearly. They may persist for longer. They may choose better strategies. Goals can turn general effort into purposeful action. The first important feature is clarity. A goal should be specific enough that the employee understands what success looks like. A manager saying, "improve your work," is not very clear. A manager saying, "reduce order errors from 12 per week to 6 per week by the end of the month," is much clearer. The employee can see the target, measure progress, and understand whether the objective has been met. The second feature is challenge. If a goal is too easy, it may not motivate much extra effort. If a goal is impossible, it may create frustration and disengagement. The best goals stretch employees without crushing them. This is an important exam point. Challenging goals can motivate, but only when they remain realistic and supported. The third feature is commitment. Employees are more likely to work towards a goal if they accept it, understand it, and believe it matters. Commitment may increase when employees are involved in setting the goal, or when the goal is linked clearly to business objectives and personal development. A goal handed down without explanation may feel like pressure. A goal discussed properly may feel like direction. The fourth feature is feedback. Feedback helps employees know how they are going. It may be formal, such as a performance review, or informal, such as a short conversation after a shift. Feedback allows employees to adjust effort and strategy. Without feedback, a goal can become a number floating in the distance. With feedback, it becomes a pathway. Locke and Latham's theory has clear advantages. It is practical, measurable, and strongly linked to performance. It works well with key performance indicators, performance management, training plans, and business objectives. Managers can use it to set individual, team, or organizational goals. It can also increase accountability because everyone understands what is expected. However, there are disadvantages. Goals can become too narrow. Employees may focus only on what is measured and ignore other important parts of the job. For example, if a salesperson is rewarded only for the number of sales, they may neglect customer care or ethical behavior. Goals can also create stress if they are unrealistic, poorly explained, or not supported by training and resources. Now let's settle into Lawrence and Nohria's 4-drive theory. This theory suggests that employees are motivated by 4 main drives: the drive to acquire, the drive to bond, the drive to learn, and the drive to defend. These drives can operate at the same time rather than in a strict order. That is one of the key differences between this theory and Maslow's hierarchy. The drive to acquire is about obtaining scarce goods, rewards, status, and achievement. In a business, this may connect to pay, bonuses, promotions, recognition, status, or access to desirable opportunities. Employees may feel motivated when they can see that effort leads to rewards. But if rewards are seen as unfair, this drive can also produce competition, resentment, and conflict. The drive to bond is about forming relationships and feeling connected to others. In a workplace, this may be supported through teamwork, collaboration, respectful culture, mentoring, and shared goals. Employees who feel connected to colleagues and the organization may be more likely to cooperate, stay loyal, and support change. The drive to learn is about curiosity, mastery, understanding, and growth. A business can support this drive through training, development, job enrichment, problem-solving opportunities, coaching, and career progression. Employees often become more motivated when they are not merely repeating tasks, but are growing in confidence and capability. The drive to defend is about protecting oneself, one's role, one's values, and one's security. In a workplace, this drive may be activated by threats such as unfair treatment, unclear expectations, sudden change, job insecurity, or conflict. Managers need to understand this drive carefully. Employees may resist change not because they are lazy, but because they feel something important is being threatened. The advantage of Lawrence and Nohria's theory is that it feels realistic in complex workplaces. It recognizes that employees may want more than one thing at once. A person may want fair pay, friendly relationships, new learning, and security all at the same time. This gives managers a broader framework for designing strategies. A limitation is that it may be harder to apply simply. The four drives can overlap, and a manager may not always know which drive is most important for a particular employee at a particular time. It also does not provide a step-by-step sequence. It gives a way of thinking, but managers still need judgment. Now, let us connect these theories to motivation strategies. A motivation strategy is an action taken by management to encourage employees to work towards business objectives. The key strategies we need to hold gently in our revision are performance-related pay, career advancement, investment in training, support, and sanction. Performance-related pay means linking financial rewards to employee performance. This may involve bonuses, commissions, piece rates, or other payments tied to achieving targets. It connects strongly with the drive to acquire and with Locke and Latham's emphasis on clear goals. If an employee knows that meeting a target will lead to a financial reward, they may be motivated to increase effort. The advantage of performance-related pay is that it can be clear, measurable, and directly connected to business performance. It may encourage productivity, sales, efficiency, and goal achievement. It may also help attract employees who are confident and achievement-focused. But there are disadvantages. It may encourage short-term thinking. It may reduce teamwork if employees compete against one another. It may also be unfair if targets are affected by factors outside an employee's control. And not every employee is mainly motivated by money. Some may value security, belonging, recognition, or growth more than a bonus. Career advancement means giving employees opportunities to move into higher roles, take on greater responsibility, or develop their career within the business. This strategy connects to Maslow's esteem and self-actualization needs, Locke and Latham's goal commitment, and Lawrence and Nohria's drives to acquire and learn. Employees may work harder when they can see a future pathway. The advantage of career advancement is that it can increase long-term motivation and loyalty. It may reduce staff turnover because employees believe they can grow without leaving the business. It can also help the business build leadership from within. A disadvantage is that promotion opportunities may be limited. If employees are promised advancement but do not receive it, motivation may fall. It may also create competition or disappointment if the process is not fair and transparent. Investment in training means spending time and resources to improve employee skills, knowledge, and confidence. Training may be on the job or off the job. On-the-job training occurs in the workplace while employees perform real tasks or learn beside experienced staff. Off-the-job training occurs away from normal work tasks such as workshops, courses, conferences, or external programs. Training connects strongly with the drive to learn and with self-actualization. It can also support Locke and Latham's theory because employees are more likely to achieve challenging goals if they have the skills and resources to reach them. A manager who sets a goal without providing training may be creating pressure, not motivation. The advantages of training include improved performance, fewer errors, better quality, greater confidence, and increased adaptability. Training can also help employees feel valued because the business is investing in them. However, training can be expensive and time-consuming. Employees may leave after receiving training. If training is poorly matched to the needs of the business, it may not improve performance. Support means providing assistance to employees so they can perform their roles and manage challenges. Support may include mentoring, counseling, flexible work, clear communication, coaching, well-being programs, team assistance, or extra resources. It connects with safety needs, social needs, the drive to bond, and the drive to defend. Support can reduce stress and help employees feel that the business values them as people. The advantage of support is that it can build trust, loyalty, and a positive corporate culture. It may help employees cope with change, recover from mistakes, and maintain motivation during difficult periods. The disadvantage is that support requires time, skill, and resources. If support is inconsistent or seen as favoritism, it may create frustration. It also needs to be balanced with clear expectations. Sanction means applying a negative consequence when an employee fails to meet required standards. This might include warnings, loss of privileges, demotion or dismissal in serious cases. Sanction connects most closely with the drive to defend because employees may act to avoid negative consequences. It can also connect to performance management and organizational standards. Sanction can be useful when behavior is unacceptable, unsafe, or repeatedly below expectations. It can protect the business, customers, and other employees. It can show that standards matter. But sanction has serious limitations as a motivation strategy. If used too often or unfairly, it can damage trust, reduce morale, increase stress, and create a culture of fear. In exam language, sanction may be effective in the short term, but it may not create positive long-term motivation. Now we should pause and connect motivation to training, performance management, and termination. These are not separate from motivation. They are part of the human resource cycle. A business attracts employees, develops them, maintains them, and sometimes ends the employment relationship. At each stage, motivation can rise or fall. Training can motivate employees because it develops competence. When people feel capable, they are often more willing to try. A new employee who receives clear induction and practical training may settle faster, make fewer mistakes, and feel safer. An experienced employee who receives advanced training may feel trusted and valued. Training can therefore support both performance and motivation. Performance management is the process of assessing employee performance and providing feedback to improve it. It may involve formal appraisals, self-evaluation, management by objectives, feedback conversations, and development plans. Performance management connects directly to Locke and Latham because it often involves goals, feedback, and evaluation. It can also support Maslow's esteem needs through recognition and Lawrence and Nohria's drive to learn through improvement. Good performance management is not just criticism. It is a structured conversation about expectations, evidence, progress, and support. It should identify what is going well, what needs to improve, and what help is required. If done fairly, it can motivate employees by giving them clarity and direction. If done poorly, it can feel threatening and reduce motivation. Termination is the ending of the employment relationship. It may occur through resignation, retirement, redundancy, or dismissal. Termination must be managed carefully because it affects the employee leaving, the employees who remain, the corporate culture, and the reputation of the business. Even when termination is necessary, the process should be legal, ethical, and respectful. Termination can connect to motivation in several ways. If employees see that poor behavior is never addressed, motivated staff may become frustrated. But if termination is handled harshly or unfairly, remaining employees may feel unsafe and defensive. A business must balance standards with fairness. Let's bring the three theories together in a calm comparison. Maslow helps managers think about levels of need. It is useful for broad human understanding. Locke and Latham help managers create clear performance goals. It is useful for measurable improvement. Lawrence and Nohria help managers understand multiple drives operating at once. It is useful for complex workplaces where employees want reward, connection, learning, and security. If an exam question asks you to compare theories, avoid simply describing them one after another. Use comparison language. You might say that Maslow is sequential, while Lawrence and Nohria's drives can operate simultaneously. You might say that Locke and Latham is more directly connected to measurable goals, while Maslow is broader and more focused on human needs. You might say that all three theories can guide management strategies, but they explain motivation in different ways. If an exam question gives a case study, attach the theory to the evidence. If employees are leaving because they see no future, career advancement and esteem needs may matter. If employees are confused about expectations, Locke and Latham may be useful because specific goals and feedback can improve clarity. If staff are resisting a restructure because they fear losing status or security, the drive to defend may help explain their response. Now, imagine our quiet business again. The manager turns off the computer and looks at the training schedule for next week. One employee needs clearer goals, another needs recognition, another needs support after a difficult customer complaint, another is ready for promotion, another is anxious about change. Motivation is not one button that management presses. It is a careful pattern of understanding, communication, and strategy. So, as you rest now, hold the big ideas lightly. Motivated employees help a business achieve objectives. Maslow gives us a hierarchy of needs. Locke and Latham give us specific, challenging goals with feedback and commitment. Lawrence and Nohria give us 4 drives: acquire, bond, learn, and defend. Motivation strategies include performance-related pay, career advancement, training, support, and sanction. Each has advantages and disadvantages. Each must be chosen according to the situation. And finally, remember this gentle exam rhythm. Define the concept, explain the theory or strategy, apply it to the business, analyze the effect on employees and objectives, and evaluate by considering strengths and weaknesses. That is enough for tonight. Let the ideas settle like papers on a quiet desk. The business is still, the staff room light is low, and you have moved one more step through Unit 3 Business Management with calm and care. Sleep well, study softly, and when you return to this topic, Steve will be here again, ready to keep walking through the business, one quiet idea at a time.